Hi, I'm Brenda Quintana coming to you from the Beehive. Today I'm going to show you how to make these adorable t-shirt favors using the custom tee bundle. This bundle consists of the custom tee stamp set and the t-shirt builder framelits. If you purchase these together as a bundle, you can save 10%. These favors are just adorable. They are made by die cutting a piece of cardstock and they hold one Hershey's nugget. I'm going to show you how to make a plain t-shirt and I'm also going to show you how to make the dress shirt. They would make the perfect favors for birthdays, sports events, or even Father's Day. And stay tuned for the next 2 days when I'll show you how to make the smaller t-shirt favor and a tank top favor. So let's get started so I can show you how to make these. To start off with, you're going to need your simply scored scoring board and a piece of cardstock, and I'm using Marina Mist cardstock here. I've cut this piece to 5.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and I'm going to put one of the long sides up at the top of my scoring board. Then I'm going to score at the 2.25 inch mark, the 2 3/4 inch mark, and the 3.25 inch mark. And then you're going to need your Big Shot, and I've already got my magnetic platform on here and one of the cutting plates is sitting on top of there. Then you're going to take your piece of cardstock and you're going to fold it in half along the middle score line, and we're going to ignore the other 2 score lines for now, so just make sure it's folded perfectly in half. And then this open end of the cardstock is going to go through the Big Shot first. And then you're going to take your biggest t-shirt from the t-shirt builder framelits and you're going to place it so that the top of the t-shirt goes through the Big Shot first. Let me pick this up and hold it into the camera so you can see how I want you to place it. So the opened end is going through first, the top of the t-shirt is going through first, the edge of the top of the framelit is resting against the edge of the cardstock, and then the rest of the t-shirt is perfectly aligned so that it doesn't look crooked. Then with the second cutting plate, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to put it perfectly on top of our piece. We're going to rest it so that it omits the bottom part of the t-shirt. I'm going to show you how to do that on the machine now. So I'm going to put down my platform, going to take my second plate and I'm going to scoot it through my Big Shot already, and then I'm going to rest it on top of my framelit, but I'm going to make sure it doesn't cover the end of my t-shirt. So then you're just going to hold that with your thumb and get it ready to roll through the Big Shot. So here's what the piece looks like after it's been die cut. It's cut through both sides of the folded piece of cardstock, and now we just need to make some cuts down here at the bottom to release the t-shirt from the cardstock. So I'm just going to cut from the fold right up to the side of the t-shirt. So it's just a straight cut like that. See, it's releasing. And then over on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. Just cut straight up like that. This outer piece can be thrown away, and then you're left with this piece that looks like this. Now's a good time to do all your stamping and decorating for your t-shirt piece. I'm going to stamp on this t-shirt, and to make it show a little better, I'm going to use a darker ink color. So I'm going to use my Dapper Denim Ink Pad. And I'm going to use the vintage stamp from the custom t-shirt stamp set. I'm going to ink it up. And then I'm just going to stamp it in the center of my t-shirt like that. There are many other stamps that you could use on these t-shirts. And I'm also going to stamp on the other side. Then to give this t-shirt a little bit more depth and to make it look a little bit more like a t-shirt, I'm going to use my Marina Mist Ink Pad. And I'm going to use a sponge dauber. I'm going to ink up my sponge dauber on the ink pad. And I'm going to sponge the sides and all around the edge of the t-shirt piece. So the only place I'm not going to sponge right now is the very bottom, because this is not the true bottom right here. So just give me a second while I come around and do the sides. And then we're going to fold this along the other score line. And now you can go ahead and sponge the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. And again, I'm going to fold along that other score line so I can get to the true bottom of the t-shirt, and then just sponge along the bottom as well. So now that we've got our piece folded the way that it should be, I just want to make one little note. This middle score line we're not going to use anymore. I just used it so that we could die cut the t-shirt onto one piece. So when we put the nugget on this piece, this is going to hold it flat so it doesn't bend over in the middle. And just so you know that we don't need it anymore. So then you're going to need a Hershey's nugget. And you're going to use some tear and tape. I'm just going to run a line along the entire bottom of the Hershey's nugget and then tear it off. And then I'm going to remove the liner. And I'm just going to put it down on the bottom in between the two outer score lines like that. Then all we need to do is to glue this top piece together. So to do that, I'm going to use some Tombow. And I'm just going to put some Tombow glue right up at the neckline of the t-shirt. And then I'm going to bring this together and I'm going to kind of pinch it and hold it together so that the glue can set up a little bit. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to check to make sure both sides look even. And you're going to want to hold that for just a few seconds to make sure that you've got a good bond. And there you go, your t-shirt favor is all made. Isn't it cute? Now I want to show you how to make this dress shirt. So for the dress shirt, you're going to cut your cardstock in the exact same way we did for the other t-shirt. So I've just got my piece that's been scored and die cut. And I've done this piece in Wisteria Wonder cardstock. And so I'm going to take the matching ink, Wisteria Wonder ink. And I want to stamp some pockets on here. So I've got my little pocket stamp already on an A block. And when I ink it up, I'm going to take the right bottom corner and I'm going to match it up with the armpit. I'm actually going to match the edge of the stamp, not the actual ink part with the corner. That way it's going to stick out from the edge just a little bit. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, but this time I'm going to line up the left corner with the armpit and then stamp it down. Then I'm going to take a scrap piece of Wisteria Wonder and I'm going to take the collar stamp and stamp it onto the scrap piece in the same color of ink. And then we're ready to do some die cutting. So I've got my big shot here again, and I've got the piece that I just stamped with the collar. And then I'm going to take the matching die for that collar and match it up with that piece. I'm also going to take a small piece of the Subtles Designer Series paper pack, and this one is in the Wisteria Wonder and it's the stripe pattern. I'm going to place that on my platform as well, and then I'm going to take this tie piece and I'm going to line that up onto my little piece of designer paper like that. And then we're ready to send both of these pieces through the big shot. So here's my collar piece and here's my tie. So to finish off this piece, we're going to fold it along the score lines. Remember, we're going to ignore that center score line now. And we're going to need a Hershey's nugget. And again, on the bottom of this nugget, I'm going to put some tear and tape. Run a line along there. I'm going to remove the backing and adhere it to the bottom in between the two outer score lines, like that. Then I'm going to take some Tombow and put it up near the collar, and we're going to bring this together and hold it for a few seconds so that the two sides have a chance to stick together. Then we're going to get the tie and collar ready. I'm going to take the tie and put a little bit of Tombow right up at the top. I'm going to take my collar piece and I'm going to bring the two of them together like that. Make sure your tie is coming straight down and not on an angle. I'm going to turn this piece over, and I'm just going to put Tombow down at the bottom because this is the only part that's actually going to stick to the cardstock. You want to leave the top free because that's going to stick beyond your t-shirt piece. And then you're just going to take it and you're going to adhere it to the top of the t-shirt. Now keep in mind your little collar has to stick above the t-shirt for it to look right. So just hold that for a few seconds like that. And there you go, you've got a dress shirt favor. And I think this one would be perfect for Father's Day. So here are all the favors all together, and I think these would just make great masculine favors for birthdays, sporting events, and Father's Day. And the cool thing is you can decorate them up however you want to. And don't forget, these favors are part of a 3-part series, so stay tuned tomorrow for part 2. All the supplies you'll need to make these t-shirt favors are available for purchase on my blog. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Bye for now.
If you like this tutorial, be sure to check out all the free with purchase tutorials available on my blog. The Hershey's Chicken and Egg tutorial is just one of the exclusive tutorials that you can choose free with a minimum purchase in my Stampin' Up! Store.